There's a saying, justice is what you get when you run out of money. Filthy Rich takes you through the brazen sex rackets run by those who don't. A brief background about the subject. Jeffrey Epstein was an American playboy billionaire with close connections to a lot of powerful names. This documentary series presents the uncovering of the rampant prostitution, sex trafficking, and pedophilia racket he ran behind closed doors and the collusion of authorities in its cover-up. The documentary traces events back and forth between 1996 and 2020 and builds into a shocking and explosive story.
Who else was underage?
All of them. Those girls brought other girls too.
Credit where it's due, the filmmakers have done their homework in collecting, compiling, and editing a mammoth amount of material while still keeping it simple to follow. The series presents survivor statements, statements from authorities, lawyers, journalists, and many others directly and indirectly involved. It also gathers evidence, presents case proceedings, and material from private investigators to build a strong case against Jeffrey Epstein. Which is quite a feat because the sheer scale of the sexual abuse, the number of people involved, and the extent of the cover-up is mind-boggling. It involves US attorneys, British royalty, the FBI, and a countless stream of young girls, most of them minors, who are routinely trafficked and abused. Journalists involved in the exposing of the story have even gone on to call it something to the effect of a systemic sex trafficking and prostitution network run by one of the most powerful names in America. The entire series is presented in 4 episodes of 55 minutes each. Episode 1, titled Hunting Grounds, introduces the players involved in the crime and how Epstein ran the molestation racket from his Palm Beach mansion. The documentary details his pyramid scheme through which he preyed upon young girls, some only in high school, by coaxing or coercing them into recruiting others for him to abuse. It's a shocking reveal of the rotten indulgences hidden inside some affluent circles. So it should come as no surprise then that Epstein moved in the same circles as outed sex offenders Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Woody Allen. Episode 2, Follow the Money, delves into the suspicious circumstances under which Epstein gathered the wealth that protected him all this time. Compared to the other 3 episodes, this episode is a little less explosive, but it shines a harsh light on the connivance of people and authorities around him in creating this system of abuse. It also serves to underscore the broken culture of American businesses that value charisma and financial acumen over a moral compass. Episode 3, The Island, reveals Epstein's manipulation of authorities as the substantial evidence and charges brought against him culminate in a deal unprecedented in its leniency. It also uncovers the rapes and sexual abuse he carried out on his private island in the Caribbean, nicknamed the Pedophile Island. This episode is by far the most spirit-shattering. It's downright difficult to watch as the criminal justice system spectacularly fails the survivors at every turn. Finally, episode 4, Finding Their Voice, details the survivors' struggles to get their day in court as Epstein serves only a cursory time behind bars. The episode concludes the chain of events with a very simple unspoken message. The saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, it's just a myth. Watching this series, it's difficult to remember that you are in fact watching real events and not some twisted crime thriller. The utter failure of the criminal justice system is scary, and the documentary makes it a point to highlight the sheer absurdity of the mountains of evidence not being enough to convict a serial sex offender and his enabling circles. Ultimately, they are all able to hide behind technicalities and blatant denials. But the series does present a compelling argument against even a possibility of this going unnoticed, just factoring the sheer scale of this sex racket. Yet it's no surprise that authorities didn't have the guts to take action, considering the names implicated, including Jeffrey's former girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, former Labour Secretary Alexander Acosta, Prince Andrew, Epstein's defense lawyers, the FBI, and more. And just for the courage to implicate such people, both the filmmakers and survivors who came forth deserve to be commended. Ultimately, it took the power of a global Me Too movement to focus attention on and nail Jeffrey Epstein. And it makes you question the point of a criminal justice system which, on one hand, takes 24 years to convict moneyed sexual predators, while police encounters can gun down ordinary citizens in a matter of minutes. In such a world, documentaries like this aren't just important, they're an absolute necessity. I do recommend you give it a watch. And that's the review, guys. If you enjoyed this, you know the drill. Hit the like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And if you want to catch any other shows you missed, the links for my previous reviews are there on the video and in the description below. But that's it for now. My name's Akshay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.